Hi guys, I'm back up here with another daily motivational message for the collective. Remember, all messages are not for all, they're for some. Take what you need and leave the rest. As well as we got that slot open for personal readings. If you feel guided or interested in purchasing one of those, you know what to do. You can DM me. We can get you set up. Come fuck with your girl, okay? As well as going to drop a comment down below. Love to hear from you guys to start the discussion so we all can get on one accord, okay? As well as it's going to share these vids, man, so we all can get on one accord, okay? So that's about it for the overall message, the meat and potatoes of this reading. We got one card from the Book of Awareness. Boom. Here it is here. And then we got 3 cards from the regular tarot, the black ones I've been using. Boom. All right, so let's go on and get it popping, okay? So the message is hold nothing back. Hold nothing back. To hold nothing back in every breath means staying committed to letting whatever we experience make its way in and letting whatever is in make its way out. Holding nothing back means holding the intention to be an open vessel in a daily way. Okay? All right, so what this message has to do with kind of going with the flow, right? When it comes to your journey in general, where you're going, what you're experiencing, especially on the spiritual path and connecting to God and understanding the relationship with God and things like that, you're going to have to learn how to detach from a lot of things, right? This is that type of energy. Even God or Jesus, right? If we want to use Jesus, for example, he detached from his family, right? I guess birth mother and all that good stuff. His family is who's walking with him, right? This is that type of energy, if we want to use that ideology, right? And this is that type of energy in these moments in time. Whatever you experience in life and where you're going in life, and you may run into hiccups, you may run in, like I said yesterday, when life decides to chin check you, right? This is that type of energy, allowing things to come up and allowing them to dissipate on their own, right? Right. Yeah, because we got the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords has to do with the mental prison, being bound to something, a false belief or outdated belief here, right? With this type of 8 of Swords, this is that type of energy here. When it comes to your journey, a lot of things are going to come up on your journey, right? That, especially dealing with God. You know how God be. God puts us in predicaments where we have to face ourselves, right? And sometimes when we are looking at ourselves in the reality of the situation, sometimes the shit we see, we don't like to see, right? This is that type of energy here in these moments in time here where God will use people, places, and things, reflections of your motherfucking ass, right? This includes me too. I'm talking about myself as well. To reflect what needs to be addressed, right? You can't hide from God, right? This is that type of energy. God knows all, right? This is that type of energy. As you're going through your journey, the whole goal here is to get back to that childlike nature, right? So connected with the divine, so connected with your source that this is like the world. This is like society. This is like conditionings. This is like your traumas. This is your scars, your wounds, the things that you hide, your behaviors, your mindsets, your belief systems, your job, right? Your home. All of this is the things that stacked upon you in the world that creates this false narrative, this false you, right? And God tends to use a lot of our trials and tribulations to strip us down from that, to get us straight to the key root, to the soil of oneself, right? This is that type of energy here, because at the end of the day, all of that shit is what? With the 3 cups, a distraction. A distraction, right? This is that type of energy as a collective, as we are moving forward. We got to watch out for these landmines, right? These landmines, they're all over the place, right? Constantly fighting and battling to keep our attention, I guess, on God, right? Constantly being challenged on and constantly being asked and grabbed for our attention, where God tends to fall in the background of our lives because of all of these different things that we got to continue to juggle, right? In these moments in time, what we are being asked to learn and what we're learning is to just be present with God, right? Is to allow the conditionings of the world to be disconnected from God, right? Because the conditionings of the world and God are two different things, right? The conditioning in the world in God, right? God and the conditionings of the world are two different things, right? That's an energy that's kept separate, right? When it comes to your relationship with God, you got to keep those two worlds separate, right? Because that's when the waters get muddy, right? This is that type of energy when you're in that sacred space, when you're in that, when you're on holy grounds, it remains holy, right? This is that type of energy. You step into your childlike nature, right? You don't bring your belief systems to God, right? In the holy space. You don't bring your conditionings there. You don't bring your problems. You don't bring your ego. You don't bring your home, your family. None. Motherfucker, you come here to sit with God. There is a sacred space within you when it comes to that relationship with God, between you and God, right? That's a space where y'all two meet. And when you step into that space, it's quiet. There's no noise. Noise would be worrying about bills. Noise would be, trying to keep up with the Joneses. Noise is my parents don't fuck with this. Noise is how am I going to get to the next meal to the next day, right? Tonight, right? Noise is I give a fuck about Todd, who always talks shit about me at the water cooler. That is noise, right? All that shit doesn't come in that sacred space. Right? And God will challenge you in a way to force you to have to let those things, allow those things to come up. Allow those things to come up and out of you so you can face them, to step into the sacred space. Quiet. Right? Because the problem is with why people cannot really get that signal between you and God is because there's too much fucking clutter in the sacred space, the quiet space, right? And that's where you and God really meet, right? Within that quiet space, right? So all the ills of the world are supposed to be blocked out of that space, right? And this is that type of energy that is being revealed, how we're learning how to block out the ills of the world and the conditionings of the world from getting into that space that will affect the relationship and the signal between you and God, right? This is that type of energy, yeah, with the moon, right? This is that type of energy here. It's an energy that is unknown. It's an energy that is unfelt and unexplainable when it comes to that sacred space, right? But it's very needed for the soul, right? This is that type of energy as a collective. Before I wrap this message up, it has to do with being consciously aware and a gatekeeper of your space, right? A gatekeeper of your period with God, that time with God that you sit in, right? This is that type of energy. I feel like my words are trying to like stay in my throat or something. Like they don't want to come out. And it's like, I feel like I'm forcing them to come out. And for that to be in an energy like that is, I feel like an energy of some of us has not actually, it's been so long having that conversation or that communication with God where it's like, how can I even come to God even if I want to? You understand? God's always there, right? God is always with you. The thing is, the shit that you go through day to day blocks out. It's like God fades into the background of your life. But if you quiet that shit down, you will hear God clearly. You will hear God clearly. And like this whole reading we've been talking about, that space. That space requires you to quiet your life down. Step out of your life for a minute. Literally, step out of your life for a minute. And then step into that space, that holy space, right? And that holy space is a meditative space. And I have one of my favorite motivational, I guess, inspirational speakers. He's spiritualist, I guess to say. I don't know what you're going to call him. His name is Soul Immortal. His channel's Immortal Mindz. And he talks about, shout out to him. You want some jewels, go to him. He talks about how meditation is the cousin of sleep. And sleep is the sister of death. I believe that's what he says. Meditation is the cousin of sleep. And sleep is the sister of death. Right? And if we want to break what he's meaning about that, it's about, you got to understand, when you transition over, you go back to your source. You return back to your source, right? And the closest to getting close to your source is within a sleep state, right? And we tend to be able to tap into those spaces within meditation or whatever you decide to get into that sacred space, right? Because that's like a way to get into the sacred space is through that, right? Whatever you decide to do to sit your ass down in the sacred space to hear, right? Most times God don't even need you to speak. And a lot of times when we get into prayer, and a lot of times when we get into the meditative spaces, we speak so more. We speak more than God speaking, to a point where you can't even hear God, right? Most times God wants us to get into those spaces to just be silent and listen. Listen. Have you ever just wandered within those realms, within the spirit realms, right? And when we talk about that, is within that spiritual state. When you feel God overwhelming you, when you feel God all over you, you just realm within that space. And God will reveal to you the next moves in your life, or the next moves of your day, or the next move that you need to do in the next hour, right? Right. So to wrap this message up, last message, it's about clearing out that sacred space and returning to that sacred space and remaining that space remaining silent so you can hear God. Okay? All right, I think I'm going to leave it there. Remember, all readings are not for all, they're for some. Take what you need and leave the rest. As well as we got that slot open for personal readings. If you feel guided or interested in purchasing one of those, you know what to do. DM me. We can get you set up. Come fuck with your girl, okay? As well as going to drop a comment down below. Love to hear from you guys to start the discussion. As well as let's go share these vids, man. Let's get this divine knowledge out here for the collective so we all can get on one accord, okay? I want you guys to have a good day. Stay up and bye-bye.